afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon for joining our coffee and conversation hour. Let me see if I got this right. Mhm. One second, bear with me. Good people, bear with me. There we go. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. This is our coffee and conversation hour, and today, as always, we got some great information for you. And this is the coming of the close of this month of May, and all month long we have been bringing you information on mental health awareness. And so we're going to continue to bring you some more enlightening information on today. My name is Craig. I'm one of your recovery coaches. And so today, without further delay, we're going to bring you an article by themeadows.com. This article that we're going to be sharing today is from themeadows.com. All right. And so let's get into it. Why are co-occurring disorders so common? All right. The article says, you can see it scrolling across the screen. Why are co-occurring disorders so common? Right? It's a co-occurring disorder, sometimes referred to as a dual diagnosis or comorbidity. It is a term used to identify when a person has both a substance use disorder and a mental health condition. The incidence of co-occurring disorder is fairly common because of the way a person's physical condition and their mental and emotional state affect each other. Addiction and mental health disorders often perpetuate each other. People may people may seek out substances to self-medicate mental health symptoms, or they may develop a mental health condition due to the effect of substances on the body. While a serious drug or alcohol addiction may seem to take precedent, both conditions need to be treated so that a person can live a fulfilling life and recovery. All right? And so both conditions need to be addressed, not one over the other. Now, how common are co-occurring disorders? Right? And so how common are co-occurring disorders? According to the National Institute on Drug Abuse, roughly 50% of people who experience a mental health condition will also experience a substance use disorder. Those are some high percentage, and vice versa. About 25% of people with a serious mental illness also have a substance use disorder. Physical health and mental health are intricately connected. Chemical imbalances in the body and brain can have a number of effects, including severe mood swings, depression, anxiety, fatigue, or alternatively, overstimulation. These can fuel a lack of nutrition, weight gain or loss, suicidal ideation, a negative outlook on life, and even a decreased ability to heal. Conditions like bipolar disorder, personality disorder, and schizophrenia tend to have a high rate of co-occurring substance use due to a desire to control unwanted thoughts, feelings, or impulses. The pervasive nature of depression and anxiety conditions can also fuel a person's desire to self-medicate with substances. The layering of these conditions can not only alter a person's view of their life and reality, increasing their hopelessness, but it can foster self-isolation and a sense of shame that keeps that person from seeking treatment. All right, and so these things substance use or co-occurring or dual diagnosis and mental health disorders. They can cause it can alter, the article says it alter a person's view of their life and reality. So if a person is having issues with substance abuse disorder or mental health issues, their views can be altered, whether it be their views of life and reality. The development of co-occurring disorder is caused by a number of factors. Let's read that again. It says the development of co-occurring disorders is caused by a number of factors. People are more susceptible to develop mental health conditions or substance use disorders if they have a history of trauma or abuse. However, environment, personality, background, and physiology all factor into whether a person may ultimately present with co-occurring. So, okay, now you have either trauma or some type of abuse, and also articles talks about the environment, personality, background, physiology, things of that nature can also be components of co-occurring. All right, and it says further research from what is NIDA, which stands for, let's get it right, National Institute on Drug Abuse. All right, National Institute on Drug Abuse indicate as many as 40 to 60% of people are genetically predisposed to substance use disorders. That is big. That is big. All right. Though, as mentioned, a number of other factors may play a role whether an addiction will actually develop. Further research from the National Institute of Drug Abuse indicates as many as 40 to 60% of people are genetically predisposed to substance use disorders. Right? I thought I just read that, but if I didn't read it, I read it again. All right. Drug abuse. All right. Not drug. National Institute of Drug Abuse, not National Institute of Drug Addiction. It's National Institute of Drug Abuse. Addiction and co-occurring disorder risk factors. Let's talk about the addiction and co-occurring disorders risk factors. The article says there are some risk factors for addiction and co-occurring disorders, right? You say, while these increase the likelihood that a person, all right, we got one comment up here. Let me look on and see who. All right, Kevin. Kevin says, I'm here. I didn't receive the email. Kevin, I'm glad you are here. And so we having some technical difficulty. And so I will see you on the next one or whenever you stop by the office. All right. So let's get back into it and finish up the article. It says there are some risk factors for addiction and co-occurring disorders. While these increase the likelihood that a person will develop these conditions, every person is unique. Some may present with co-occurring disorders, and some may never develop either condition. It's worthwhile to know the risk factors and to be able to spot the signs of addiction and mental health conditions as they progress. All right? And so it's very important to look out for the signs and symptoms as they progress. With intervention and treatment, those with co-occurring conditions can heal and live fulfilling lives and recovery. And so this article tells us that you don't have to be fearful of not getting healthier. You don't have to be fearful that just because you may have a substance use disorder or a mental mental health disorder, that you cannot become healthy, or uh, the article lets us know that you can have both, you can have two disorders, and as long as they address appropriately through professional help, you can become stable and live a healthy, fulfilling life. That's good news to a lot of us. That is very good news because we don't have to run around and think that, oh, my life is over. I'm never going to amount to nothing. Oh, poor me. The world is crashing down. No, no. Do not believe that. And so, if you are in a rut, if you are having moves or thoughts of that nature, I suggest that you find the appropriate help. And so it's so important that we get our lives back on track so that we can be uh, the best people that we can be in life, right? And so here are a few risk factors for addiction and co-occurring disorders from National Institute of Drug Abuse. First one talks about genetics and environment. While both can influence a person's likelihood of developing co-occurring disorders, they can also interact with each other, causing changes in gene expression that can foster predisposition in family lines. So we're not talking about genetics and environment. So they both has an interactive role. Our biological makeup and our social interaction with society, how we respond to either one can have a can be a risk factor. All right, and so uh, be mindful of that. So don't just think everything is just mental. No, sometimes we can have a genetic factor. We also can have a social environmental factor. And so there's a host of things. So we're just going to cover the ones that's listed in this article. The next one talks about stress. Stress is known to have a number of adverse negative effects on the body. All right, remember that stress can have a number of adverse effects of the body. That word adverse stands for, or is defined as a negative connotation or negative outlook, a negative effect. The article says the negative effects on the body, and higher level of stress can decrease motivation and increase impulsivity. This is some good information because a lot of times we are wondering why we're feeling the way we feel, why we're thinking the way we're thinking, why are we behaving the way we're behaving? Because we can't identify these moves, these feelings, these expressions appropriately. And so articles like this is very helpful to get us to become enlightened, to be more focused, to be more of aware. And so that's why we're talking about mental health so much this month. However, we want people to continue to do your homework. You know, always do your homework so that you can be an asset not only to yourself, but an asset to your family, an asset to your community. And so instead of a liability. And so I believe that people can achieve great things if we're assisted with the appropriate help. All right. And so the next one, Article 1 talks about, and that is trauma. It says trauma is a complex condition that can get more severe over time as a person encounters triggers from past experiences or repeated incidences of trauma. They are more susceptible to develop an addiction or mental health condition. Trauma is so, I want to say prevalent. What's going on, Will?
What's up with you?
All right, right. And so trauma is a major a component when we're talking about risk factors. And so we're on the second page where we talk about trauma. And so, yeah, and so a lot of people experience so many things as uh, adolescents or as a young child, and a lot of times we don't tell anyone, let someone know, or we are afraid to express the things that we experienced or seen or heard, witnessed, or actually been a victim of. And so, therefore, it's very important to always be able to recognize trauma, know what it looked like, what it sounds like, and how to respond appropriately. All right. And so we're talking about addiction and co-occurring disorders, risk factors. And so we went over genetics and environment. We went over stress. We just talked about trauma. And so the article says intervention and support are key to helping a person get back on track and start feeling like themselves again. If you or someone you know is experiencing an increase in mood swings, negative thinking, or impulsive behavior, start asking questions or consult a treatment professional. If that person becomes more isolated, their eating and sleeping patterns become erratic, or they become evasive, even lying or stealing, they may be experiencing the effects of an addiction or mental health condition. Intervention and support are key to helping a person get back on track and start feeling like themselves again. All right. And so the last one we're going to go over, and that is in this article. I thought I had it up on the board, but I do. And so that is common co-occurring disorder. Common co-occurring disorder. Remember, this is Mental Health Awareness Month. So we're talking about not only substance abuse, but also mental health. What are some common co-occurring disorders? According to the National Institute of Drug Abuse, the following are mental health conditions that regularly coincide with drug or alcohol addiction. Number one, anxiety disorders, including generalized anxiety disorder, panic disorder, and PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Number two, depression. Number three, bipolar disorder. Four, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, which is commonly known as ADHD. Number five, psychotic illness. Six, borderline personality disorder, BPD. Seven, antisocial personality disorder, ASPD. And number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, schizophrenia. All right, and so these are common co-occurring disorders that coincide with drug or alcohol addiction. And so we don't, a lot of times we don't want to acknowledge, or we don't want to think of ourselves of having some of these or have experienced some of the 8 that I just read off. But it can be. But just by, doing a self-assessment, we can be doing much harm to ourselves. And so let the professionals do the assessment, and don't take it upon yourself or let somebody misguide you and say, you are someone that may be having whatever title they want to self-ascribe to you. But no, let the professional do the professional work. So also, and we're going to continue, also not uncommon is for those who are receiving mental health treatment to be using the following substances. Says the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration, SAMHSA. Alcohol, tobacco. These are people who have already been diagnosed with mental health disorder. They can be using the following as well, which they call self-medication. Alcohol, tobacco, opioids, heroin, morphine, fentanyl, stimulants, amphetamines, cocaine, meth, marijuana, hallucinogens, LSD, PCP, ketamine, prescription drugs, benzo, diazepines, and prescription opioids like oxycodone. Because these addictions and mental health conditions can perpetuate each other, it's important that both are treated simultaneously, all right, to help prevent relapse. Our treatment professionals can diagnose co-occurring conditions and offer a comprehensive plan for recovery. Now, we do have a place where we can refer you to be treated and assessed, but not here at Capital Recovery Center. We only recovery coaches here, and so we are here to assist and help you navigate to the appropriate professional. So if you know someone, or if you're feeling that you are experiencing any of these mental health or substance use disorders and that you need help, find someone, or you can contact us here and we'd be glad to assist you as well. But listen, stigma is a label that people put on people. It's a stereotype that people place on others, and that sometimes we place on ourselves. And we have to be mindful that we can become healthy and become stable as long as we be willing to work on letting someone know that we're experiencing these symptoms that or these behaviors that I just read off to you. So until the next time, I want you to stay healthy and have a great day. And until the next time, I'll see you later. My name is Craig. I'm one of your recovery coaches, and have a great day out there. All right? Take care. All right. Shut this